First question. You have a high population of black and brown students and DEAP programs. What are you going to do? What would your plans be to help repair that issue?
First of all, the DAP program is a state mandated program and a federal program. That program has some laws and some restrictions. If a kid do certain things, they have to go to DAP, like bring a knife, bring a gun, hit a teacher, hit a staff member, and that kind of stuff. They have to go. It's some laws and rules behind that. There is a big population of minority kids, but when that came up 3 years ago, I went and did my research. The DEAP kids are over at Kavasset. There is just as many Caucasian kids at the DAP over at Kavasset, but somewhere we lose the connection between middle school and high school with the minority kids. I don't like to say minority, but the other kids. We have to fix that program. I'm not saying it's a perfect fix. You have to get in there and work the issue. I know this year Dr. Muller set up a blue team that brought that up to the community, and they brought up some suggestions, and they started working those issues, and the numbers have went down.
Thank you. My theme of my campaign rhetoric is about support the classroom teacher. If you can protect the classroom teacher's time, if you can get a classroom teacher in their classroom that can develop exciting lessons, and if you can provide that teacher the support she needs or he needs, then you're freeing up just a whole lot of time to work with all of her students. My view is not how many kids are going to the alternative school or the DAEP. My view is what can we do before a student ever gets that far off track, through developing a wonderful relationship between that student and that teacher and that parent, and then developing inside this community, like Broccoli has done, wonderful programs that bring together people and say, hey, let's work with our kids and let's keep our kids in school. And that's how you win in that situation. Thank you.
The first thing I'd want to know is what procedures are in place. Look into those procedures and seeing if they're being uniformly followed. I would also take into, like you said, talk to the teachers, talk to the staff. How can we improve upon the situation to make sure that everybody is treated equally and diverse? Making sure that there could have been other recommendations put into place before saying send them to alternative school. Again, you want to try to make it equal across the board. And so that's what I would try to do.
Well, fortunately, we have a school district that did realize or does realize that this is an issue and had a committee put together to study this, and their report has been submitted. The question is, of the recommendations that they've made, how many have actually been implemented? So one of the main reasons I'm running is because we currently do not have a parent on the school board, a parent with school-age children. And I think that we set a tone for the entire school district about how important parental involvement is, when even at the board level we decide we can run this school board, we can run the district without your voice. A lot of the issues that we're seeing with our youth, and especially our black and brown youth, I believe that if we had more parental involvement, there would be things that we could cut off at the very beginning because there is a rapport that is built and that there's an understanding. Having said that, some of the recommendations that have been made include providing cultural diversity training for our teachers. The truth of the matter is that we recruit teachers from all over the place, but when we look at the composition, the racial composition of our teachers, it looks very different from the racial composition of our student body. The more that is reflected, the more the racial composition of the teachers reflects the student body, I think the less you will see these issues. But in the meantime, because we want to attract and retain the best teachers, period, then we must do what we have to educate both sides so that we can bridge those cultural divides. And there is a cultural divide. Yep. If you grew up in a family where you're really affluent and you've traveled the world, you have very different experiences from someone who's only lived and maybe gone to Austin. So there are cultural differences that can be misconstrued and that can create issues that end up having children in alternative education. So I say, go back to the report. We do not have to reinvent the wheel. We had some very smart people on that committee. Mr. Grace is one of them who is in the back. And let's implement what they've already come up with. Thank you.